Hey guys, it is Saturday, May 31st, 2025, and I'm here to do my WIP update. It is 11:15 p.m., and it's way too late for me to be doing this, but I'm going to try to do it, and because I don't want to have to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to try to do it. We'll see. Um, so, yeah, we're at the end of May. This year is like flying by. It's crazy. Um, May was May was an okay month. It wasn't as good as April. I didn't do 4,000 stitches. Um, but it wasn't bad. Um, I had a finish. I had a new start. I made some progress on my other projects. I finished my goals. So, um, it was a good month. A little bit of stash, some life stuff. So we'll just get started here. Um, and I'm gonna try not to sneeze. So we'll start with my finish. I finished Tetelestai by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I finished this on May 14th. I'm wondering if I put something behind this, will it make it easier to see? I'm not sure if that helps or not. Maybe it helps a little bit. Um, I finished it on May 14th. I did 1,394 stitches to finish it, which is basically almost the entire bottom. All of the lettering. I had this part of this side done, but all of the lettering and all of the rest of this I did this month. 1,394 stitches. This is by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. It was my New Year, New Start in 2023, and um, it was a problem. I did a lot of frogging. Even on the day that I finished it, I did. Oh, the day that I was hoping to finish it. I was hoping to finish it on. I finished it on the 14th. I was hoping to finish it on the 12th, on that Monday. And when I woke up on Monday morning, I needed 872 stitches, and which is a stretch for me in one day. It was a big ask for me in one day. But I ended up I got through. I was working on this side of the border, and I got down here, and the corner didn't match up. And I realized that there was a mistake here, and I pulled it out and I redid it, and then it still wasn't matching up. And I looked up here, and I had made the same mistake up here. So all the stuff that I had already frogged and back in, I had to frog again, plus pull this out, and then stitch it again. So I spent a lot of time frogging and restitching. And then I got over here and I made a mistake over here. Where is it? I made a mistake. I made a mistake right here, I think, and I had to do more frogging. And it was just that Monday, it was just a lot of frogging. And I ended up with 445 stitches out of the 872. So I did some of it on Tuesday. I did some of it on Wednesday. And I finished it on Wednesday night. So, um, there we go. The fabric is Wisteria, and I think it's by Mystic Fabrics. And the thread is DMC 3865. So this is my first finish for 2025. And it's Tetelestai by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. Oh, and if you can't read it, and I won't be surprised if you can't, it says Tetelestai, which means it is finished. And the Bible reference is John 19:30. So that's what that says at the bottom. And there's my finish. All right. So this one I'm going to show because it's here and it's kind of in the way. So this is I finished my Hade in November. And I have two more. I haven't pulled either one of them out. I pulled it out today because I used it for categories. Um, I used it for my categories. And I spent today finishing up. I had some loose ends to tie up for my May goals. And I've known all week that I've had to do this, and every night I'm like, I should do some of this, I should do some of this. I didn't really do any of it. And so today I'm like, I gotta do it because it's the last day of May. So this is my only regular size shade. This is um, this is Dark Water by Jessica Lane, charted by Hade. I started this in 2020. I almost never work on it. Like, but it's been 5 years. And including the stitches I did today, I did 100 stitches today. I have 1,148 stitches in it. So there's my 1,148 stitches on Dark Water. I did these stitches right here. Um, so yeah, I hardly ever work on it. Um, I don't know that it's not going to get UFO'd at some point. It might get UFO'd at some point. I don't know. I'm not ready to make that decision yet. So there it is. It's on my WIP board for this year. So I'm going to try to give it some more attention. And it's full coverage, so it fits in Stitch to the Moon. And so um, there's that. This next one is a regular here. If you watch me, you see this a lot. This is the one that I divided into 12 for this year. This is, of course, Under the Evergreen by Teresa Winsler. And I did not do any cross stitch on this month. I may have done a few like ninja stitches, but I focused on back stitching. I actually did not finish the back stitching, but uh, I back stitched the Jack in the Box's face and his collar and his shirt. I back stitched the edge of the box, the saddle, or at least some of the saddle. But I need to finish the box. I did the top part, like I did the lid. I did the lid, but I need to do the bottom of the box. And I need to do his hair, and did I do his hat? I didn't do his hat. I need to do the horse's... This didn't work. I need to do the horse's mane and his ear. And so for June, I'm going to continue back stitching. I'll finish the back stitch that I haven't done yet, and we're going to back stitch the oh, I think I did some back stitch on the teddy bear. Maybe I did the bow on the teddy bear. So we're going to back stitch the wagon and some more of the horse, and we're going to finish the stuff up here that I didn't do. And I still need to put in the carpet over here so that I can back stitch the horse's tail. And I still got to back stitch the border. I didn't do the border. So more to come on the back stitching for Under the Evergreen. So this was stitching that I did that did not go into my stitch count because I don't want to count back stitch. But I did work on it, and more to come on the back stitching for June. This was my new start. This was my tissue box start for this month. Um, this is Liz's. Can you see that? Lizzie Kate, eat locally. I don't even know that you can even see that still. But this is part of her Green Flip It series. And I start one of these a month. There we go. That's better. I start one of these a month on the 14th of the month. Um, with Sammy's tissue box. And so this month I started to eat locally. I usually start with 100 stitches on these. And this month I didn't get there. I did 76 stitches. And there it is. So I've done, well, not there. This is why I shouldn't film videos at 11 o'clock at night, you guys. Um, I'm a little bit of a hot mess. So, I did a little bit of a quick grid line to get from Keep Our Air Clean over to Eat Locally, since Keep Our Air Clean doesn't have a border across the top. So, there's from the left, plant a tree, ride a bike, be kind to animals, keep our air clean, eat locally. And so for June, the next one will be save water. So there's my Lizzie Kate Green Flippets. This was this was my other goal for the month, and I made it, and I was very, very excited. And it took a lot fewer stitches than I thought. So this is my dog. There's my yellow doggy. And look at him, you guys. I finished him. I finished my yellow dog. I did all this right here. And I took care of some other ninja stitches here and there. But um, I finished my dog. He's so pretty. I thought it was going to be like 700 stitches. And it turned out it was 513 stitches to finish him. So there he is. So I've got my yellow dog and my black dog. And so next month when I do my 400 stitches, I'll start on the golden retriever, which is over here. And there's my dogs. They're so pretty. I was so excited. And there's a lot more grass. Not really looking forward to that. I haven't decided. I was thinking about this. Where I'm going to start. I'm not sure where I'm going to start. If I start under here, this is a bunch of grass. It's easy to start here because there's, the dog is there for reference. Or I could start right here next to his ear, and then the other dog's face is up here, and it'd be easy to get to his face. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but we're going to start on the golden retriever next month. I'm very excited. All right. Oh, I just realized I'm missing one of my WIPs. Hmm. Okay. So this was another loose end that I had to tie up tonight. And this is how I realized I was missing my whip. So, um, this is Dreidel Dreidel by Ink Circles. And I used this for categories. This was for geometric. And I did 102 stitches on it. Um, and so I just worked on this bit up here and did 102 stitches. And I'll tell you how I realized that I'm missing my whip in a bit when I'm gonna find that whip. I'll show it to you. Um, but there's Dreidel Dreidel. This is gonna come out again because it also goes into June categories. So we're gonna see this again in June, and we'll do another. It's on my WIPGO board. I think it's on my WIPGO board twice, which means it's 1,000 stitches. And so far it's only gotten 100. Um, this next piece is also a category, and this is going to become more of a focus. Um, I need to focus a little harder on this one and try to move it towards a finish because it's a gift for a friend and he wants it. So this is Tolman House 1864 by Chessie and Me. And this went into the sampler category this month. And um, I the frog was not my friend this month. So there's there's my there's my house. So I I ended up taking this to work, and I'll get to that story. But I stitched. This is kind of hard to see, but I stitched this part here, which is the second story. But when I took it to work and I was stitching it, I didn't realize I had the fabric upside down. So I actually stitched it over here, or over here. I guess I stitched it over here. And so this house was not meant to have a basement. So I ended up frogging that. And then today, in fact, I frogged it. And then one of the things I did today was I moved the basement to the second story. And I told my I told the group chat, I was like, I've been working hard today. I moved the basement to the second story. It's the second floor. Um, so I did the stitching that I did plus the restitching that I did after I frogged. I did 174 stitches on it. So there it is. And yeah, this needs to become more of a focus, um, so that I can get it done and get it to my friend. All right. And my other goal piece, which I also had to finish stitches on her today. She wasn't quite done. And she's hard to see. I know she is because she's white on white. But this is Savannah by Mirabilia. and I did 400 more stitches of white. This is what we do on Savannah. We do white. But I did uh, 400 more stitches of white in her skirt down here. So I'm almost done with the white. I only have one more like swath of white to do right here. It's probably going to be like maybe July. I might finish it. And then we'll be on to filling in some colors. And maybe filling in the ruffle and doing some more interesting parts besides just white, 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 white. But it's getting done. So there's even though you can't see it very well, there's Savannah. Now let me see if I can find this other WIP. It's not in here. I might have to edit this out. Here it is. All right. Found my other WIP. This is a sad story. So, um, move this back. So, this is Kimono by Donna Gallagher. There's my bonsai tree. And last month when I showed this to you, I said I was almost done with the first color of green in the bonsai tree. I only had a little bit left in here to do. So after the video on my next office day, I took it to work and I did those stitches. It was maybe like 30 stitches. And then I went to change to the other color of green. And I realized that I had switched the two colors. That I was using the darker green, which needs to go on the bottom, and the lighter green needs to go on the top. And I'll show you the picture. So here's the relevant section of bonsai tree, and you can sort of kind of see that the lighter green is on the top and the darker green is on the bottom. And I have to fix it because if I put the lighter green on the bottom, bonsai trees just don't look like that. So I have to fix it. Now, so that's, I think it's about 400 stitches. There is, somebody asked me, well, could you just use the darker color on the bottom? And that is a possibility. I think I might try to look into that because that will save me a lot of frogging and restitching. So this one didn't really get any attention this month. It got like 30 stitches because I made a mistake and I didn't want to take, because I wanted to finish Tetelestai, and I had a big goal on the dogs, and I just had a lot of other things that I needed to stitch on, and I didn't want to take the time to fix that. I didn't want to fix it at work because it's going to take forever to frog all that and restitch all that in 30 minutes twice a week. So I'm like, I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to fix it at home. It'll go quicker that way. And um, I don't I don't actually know that that worked out so well because here we are a month later and it's still not fixed. So at least if I had kept it at work, I would have made some progress on fixing it. I don't know. So in the meantime, I've been taking other stuff to work. I took Talman House to work, which is where I added the basement instead of the second floor. And I took Dreidel Dreidel to work this past week. Um, I don't know what I took before that. Oh, I took Tetelestai. I think I took Tetelestai one day. I was on that Tuesday that I was trying to finish it. Um, I don't remember what else I took, but I've been taking different things to work. But tomorrow I'm going to figure out what to do about kimono because I need to fix it and keep moving on it because I want to finish it this year and can't finish it if I don't stitch on it. So there's that. So the frog was not kind to me this month because then after I figured out I might have to frog kimono, then I did a bunch of frogging on Tetelestai, and and then I had to frog Talman House, and although the Talman House one it was like 50 stitches, it wasn't that big of a deal. But um, so there's what I stitched this month. I did 2,765 stitches plus the back stitch that I did under the evergreen, which I would guess that would get me to about maybe 3,000 or close to 3,000. I don't know because I didn't count I didn't count the back stitch. So I don't know. But so there's where my stitching ended up for um, May. Not as good as 4,000, but not bad. Um, so plans, categories, June categories. June categories. Has words. I'm going to use travel memories because I really want to try to finish it. I don't think I'm going to finish it in June, but I'm going to try to finish it in July. Um, so my friend that Travel Memories is a gift for, uh, we were supposed to go to the LA County Fair together in May, and Mr. Mann filled up his schedule and he couldn't go, and Laurel was kind of upset, and um, but he called me the other day and he apologized for not making it. And I said, well, it's a good thing for you that there's another one coming up because Orange County is coming up. And so he said he didn't have, he didn't have any plans for that part of, Orange County Fair is like the second half of July and the first half of August. And so I have a date in mind. I'm going to try to pin him down on a date before he fills up his calendar. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to finish this before that. So Travel Memories is going to be for has words. Here, let me show it to you real quick. This is, can't see that. Yeah, that's not going to help either, is it? There we go. Travel Memories by Dimensions Gold Collection Petites. I finished the most of the background. I have few little bits in the ground underneath the Eiffel Tower to do. But I think I finished all the background stuff, and I'm going to start working on the Eiffel Tower itself, and the butterfly, and the pen, and the stamps, and the different, like, the concrete items, rather than the background. Uh, oh, um, Geometric came up again, so that's going to be Dreidel Dreidel again. Stitch Along is going to be Poppy, because that was a project that we started for Vic's birthday in 2022. Large is going to be Savannah. Holiday is probably also going to be dreidel dreidel. So if I do 200 stitches for geometric and 200 stitches for holiday, that will get me to my, plus the 100 I did this month, that will get me to my WIP Go Square. So um, those are June's categories. They were a little nicer to me than May's categories. Oh, I for May's categories, I used the mermaid for nautical. I used the dogs are my alternate, so I use that for the spring or fall seasonal. I used Tetelestai for new to you, Tom and House for sampler, dreidel dreidel for geometric, and I used the mermaid for nautical. So those are my categories. Other plans in June. Um, we're gonna start Save Water, the last of my Lizzie Kate ones. Um, I don't have any other plans to start anything or I got just today actually. This happened this morning. I got invited to play Sammy's Monopoly game, so I'm gonna play Monopoly with Sammy, and that's gonna start in about a week. One of our players is out of town, and so we're gonna wait till she comes back. And so I'm gonna play Monopoly, and we're gonna do categories. We're gonna keep working on the dogs and Savannah, and I'm going to try to make some good progress towards finishing Travel Memories. Um, I, I sort of made a draft of my WIP list for Monopoly, and there's some things on there that, like, the things that I've been focusing on, like the things you guys see when you come back month after month. Um, I put some things that are my WIP Go board on there that haven't gotten any attention. I put some other stuff that needs attention. I don't know. I haven't quite finished it yet. Um, there's a few things on there that I would probably rather they don't come up, and I might take those off and put something else on there. But um, so I don't have any. I don't think I have any other big plans for June. July is going to be different because July is my birthday, and July is also 24 hours of cross stitch, and my friends and I. Oh, so my friends, some of my friends and I are going to do, because Laura passed away and Glenna passed away on 24. I talked about this last month. On 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, we're going to do a memorial start for each of them. So, and I showed it. Actually, I showed it before, but I'll show it again. So for Laura, we're going to start the Nativity Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And there's several of us doing this. So I think there's about 5 of us that are doing this. And maybe some more that I don't know, but I know I know of about 5 of us that are doing this. And then for Glenna, we're all kind of picking our own piece. We don't have like one that everybody's doing like we do for Laura, but a lot of people are using stuff that either Glenna passed on to them or Glenna rocked them. I didn't really exchange anything with Glenna like that. But I'm going to do, this is a piece that I very clearly and strongly associate this with Glenna. Miss Mary Mac by La Da. So that's the one that I'm going to start in memory of Glenna. But that's going to be at the end of July. And July is also my birthday month, and I usually do a birthday start. I don't love the idea of doing 3 starts. So we'll see how that goes. I may end up skipping the birthday start. I don't really want to, but I might. I don't know. But so June, I don't have any significant starting plans for June or stitching plans except my normal categories, goals, tissue box. So that's that. Life stuff. I got 2 things. I want to say there might have been a third thing, but I don't remember what it was. One, work. So I told you last month that they did a strike at the end of April. They sent out the union sent out an email, I think about 2 weeks ago, that they were still negotiating. They don't have a contract yet. They've made some progress. There's a lot of points that they've come to an agreement on. There's a few points left that the county wants some language that the union doesn't like. And so they're stuck on these points, and um, the union is at the point of wanting to demand mediation to get it settled. So, but their email said it's not out of the question that they're going to do another strike. So we'll see what happens. We've been without a contract for about 2 months now. So, um, so we'll see what happens. But they said it's not out of the question that they're going to do another strike. Um, Stay tuned for that. So the other thing that happened is on the genealogy front. I got roped into another genealogy project. So my boss was talking to my friend. My boss was born in Europe, and his parents came over here. He was very young. He grew up here, and he has a very unusual last name. And in fact, if you Google his name, the only people that come up are him and his parents and his adult children. Like, but he was telling my friend and her friend that he understands that his grandfather was one of 17 children. And he's like, there's gotta be more people somewhere. Like, where are all these people? And I'm sure they're all in Europe. Like, most of his family's still in Europe. So he's like, there's got to be more people, and I don't know where all these people went. If my grandfather was one of 17 children, like, where are all these people? So he was telling my friend this, and my friend is like, oh, you should go talk to Laurel. Laurel is good at this stuff. She'll figure it out for you. Thanks a lot. So he comes to my desk, and he's like, hey, Laurel, I was told you could help me. All right. So he was telling me, too, that his last name doesn't really match with where he was born. It's not like a typical name for that country. And I'm kind of purposely being vague here, but it's not a typical name for that country. And he's like, it sounds more like it came from one of the neighboring countries. And so he gave me some information about, who his grandparents were, and, some other information that he was able to get from his family in Europe. And so I started going down a rabbit hole, and he's correct. His last name, I found out his last name is what he thought. It's from a neighboring country. But also, I think that his last name is like a phonetic spelling. Like maybe going through immigration or somewhere along the line. They said, what's your last name? And they told him the last name. And the person wrote down what they heard. Like they spelled it phonetically. Because I found this other spelling, and I'm like, that's probably the original spelling. And it's still an unusual last name. So I went, it's not a very common name. So, in fact, there's a website for this country, and there's only about 200 of these people with this name living in that country as of 2016. So, and I think there's about 50 people living in the country where he was born with that last name. So, I feel like they're all probably related to each other somehow. So this is so I started working on that. I told him my Ancestry subscription does not go into Europe, and he's probably going to need an upgraded Ancestry subscription to get into Europe. And he was fine with that. He'll pay for it. He was fine with that. But right now, there's a lot of free resources available, and so I've been looking at what I can do on Ancestry. Um, there's a website called Find a Grave. Don't abbreviate that. The genealogy groups on Facebook keep saying don't abbreviate that because you will get our group shut down. Um, and I ran both spellings of the name on Find a Grave and came up with, I think for the original spelling there's like 2 dozen people, and for the anglicized spelling there's maybe the same, maybe a bit fewer, but there's people on both names, and I'm like, well, you know, um, so there's I can look those people up on Ancestry. Still limited information because there's only, I really can only look at the people that were in America. Like the people in Europe, I can't really see too much about them. But there's other public family trees, and there's other resources. So right now I'm just working on the free resources. I also joined a genealogy group for this country that he was born in. So we'll see. Uh, so there's my new genealogy project, and oh my gosh, is that man excited! So like I'll text him stuff, and I talked to him on Thursday, and he's like, "So how's it going? What'd you find out?" That man is so excited. So there's my new genealogy project. So I kind of dabble in that one, and then I have my own, and I just kind of go back and forth. But it's been kind of fun. Also, my friend has a big mouth. Um, so that's that. Um, oh, I don't have a lot. In fact, I think I only have one thing. Um, I also mentioned this in my last video because my last video is about to come out. The Homespun Needlework did an exclusive at the beginning of May by Beth Twist at Heartstring Samplery. And I said in my video that the chances were pretty good that I was going to buy it, and I did. So this is Bloom by Heartstring Samplery, and they're basically the same. One is, of course, this one is red thread on white fabric, and this one, it's the same thing. This one's been edited down to be smaller, and they reverse the color scheme. But, so there's that. It's cute. I haven't actually opened it yet, but I believe it might come with this board that this is mounted on. I think it might come with that. I'm not sure. I haven't opened it yet. But there's my exclusive. They're putting out a new exclusive this week, I think on Wednesday, by Tanya Brockmeyer from the Scarlet House. So stay tuned. We'll see. Sometimes I can be kind of hit and miss on her stuff, so we'll see. Um, so I think that's about all I have. Um, yeah, I think that's about all I have. And it's midnight. I gotta go to bed. Anyway, um, thank you for being here, and happy stitching, and I will see you next month. 2025 is almost half over. It's crazy. Anyway, happy stitching. Bye.